Hey, it's Rebecca. I am from the University of Vermont Medical Center, and today we're going to go through some balance practice. So I'm going to bring you through kind of a battery of different balances that you can try at home and see which level maybe you're at and where to start for yourself. So I am barefoot for my practice today. You can have either your shoes on, your supportive shoes, or you can also go barefoot. So I find benefit to both. As we're at home more, and this time I find myself not wearing my shoes, and so practicing both is helpful, right? So when we're walking around, we need to still have the same balance without our supportive shoes on. So barefoot practice helps strengthen some of those muscles and give them kind of time and the ability to kind of help support ourselves without relying on the support of the shoes all the time. So I'm going to go barefoot. That's up to you, whichever you'd like to do. I didn't put socks on because this is more of a slippery surface, so I have a little bit more grip and sensation with the floor. So here we go. So there's different kinds of balance. This one is going to be more static and still balance. So I have a chair in front of me. You should as well. And the chair is here for support if I need it. So I'm trying not to rely on it, but it's there to help me become more independent in my balance. I don't want you to fall, so having something near you to catch you as you practice more advanced balances is critical. So, all right, first we're gonna do a semi-tandem stance. And what that is my heel is gonna go almost close to the other foot and its toes. So it looks like this from the front, this from the side. So go ahead and get into that position, and you can go ahead and put your hands on the chair or structure in front of you. And to get into your balance, your posture is really key. So we're going to kind of bend our knees just a little bit just to make sure they're soft. We're not straight out and rigid. So there's a soft bend in there. My weight distribution is somewhat in the middle. So I'm not too far forward and I'm not too far back. I want to be right in the middle so that center of gravity is a little bit lower and kind of more straight down, okay? And then I'm going to, if I had a tail, I'm going to tuck it underneath and pull the belly button in. My shoulder blades are going to come back and down. So everything, I'm setting up my foundation for my balance, okay? So it's not just about the feet, it's everything. The feet are they are the foundation of your whole entire body, right? It's the only thing that is in contact most all time of our day with the ground around us, and it allows us to move around. So we're gonna practice here. Nice and soft, semi-tandem, shoulders back. I'm gonna either gaze forward or slightly down. So it's called a dristi. It's a very fancy word. It's more of like a focal point that I'm gonna focus my eyes on to help me balance. Here we go. So it's gonna be about 20 to 30 seconds that you would practice here. See how you're doing. If you're feeling comfortable, you're gonna remove one hand and see how that feels. See how hard you're pushing in, or if you can softly have your hand on the front of the chair. And then go ahead and remove some fingers. So maybe you're down to 2 fingers. See how that goes. 1 finger, and eventually you'll be completely off from the chair. So we're just going to sit here for a few seconds. If you become unbalanced, you grab back on, reset yourself, and continue your practice. Great. Okay. So that's step 1, or level 1, okay? So I'm just going to show you all the levels now. You're going to pick which one is best for you, and then I'm going to show you how to make each one of those challenging, okay? So after this video, my hope is you'll know where your balance level is, so you can go right to it and know how to add challenge to that particular balance for yourself. Maybe you're going to be in between some levels. That's totally possible. So the next one is a full tandem. So it's heel toe, if you're more familiar with that term, heel toe. So again, I'm going to soften my knees. I'm going to look forward or down just a little bit. Okay, my shoulders are back. My hips are kind of tucked in, pushed forward. My belly button is in, and I'm kind of squeezing everything into the middle to give myself support, right? My support beams here. So if you have a tall house, it's going to be a little bit more wobbly unless you add those support systems to it, okay? So here we go. Hands on. Remove one hand if you need, and the other. So sometimes you might just stay with one finger, and maybe it's just a tap every now and again. And eventually you'll find the need not, you'll find not the need not to hold onto the chair, okay? You'll be independent from it at this level, okay? So the next level I call is in between single leg and your heel toe. It's a kickstand. So if you're not ready to go single leg, maybe just put one foot back slightly, and so it's just my toes that are on the floor. So it's not, my weight is more into this leg. So this is the leg I'm balancing on, but this is just here for support, similar to your hands. But I'm trying to get you off of the chair to rely more on just your own body. So this is the kickstand is how I call it. So really light, so you should be able to almost tap your toe, so there's no weight going into it. It's just there in case you need it, you balance and then you come right back. So here we go, let's give it a try, right? We're just practicing. Here we go. So everything else is the same. Knee is nice and kind of forgiving. Hips are tucked in, belly is tucked in, shoulders are back. Kind of a sensation of pulling in. And again, if you lose your balance, either use the hand or the kickstand, bring yourself back up, and maybe even you start to tap the foot so it gives you a little bit of a single leg, and then it gives you kind of that safety of bringing it back down. So many different ways to practice here. Okay, so now we're going to go into a single leg stance. So again, same thing, same setup. Your leg can either come in front, you can balance kind of, I call it the flamingo stance. It's up to you. It could be out in front like this, whatever is going to help you. So it doesn't matter your position as long as your support system is still the same. The foot can come anyway. So I'm just going to bring it back. All right. So I'm going to have to focus here. I'm going to lose my balance as well. Here we go. So we settle in, trying to let go of the hands, maybe just a one finger, and try to just maintain focus. So I kind of think of a snow globe, shooken all up, so the snow is going everywhere. And when I'm starting my balance, I start to imagine the snow and the globe is just settling down, slowly and falling to the bottom. Okay, great. So it helps just to kind of settle my mind rather than like, oh, I'm doing it or I'm not doing it or God, I'm terrible at this. Just kind of put all that judgment away and just try and focus your mind on the spot that you're looking at and settling it down and quieting it down. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to challenge each of these. So challenging it is with your eyes. So our eyesight has a lot to do with balance. So when you're changing your sight, so I'm going to go back to this heel toe and I'm going to kind of look at you here. So I'm heel toe. If I'm feeling pretty stable and good with this and I can kind of let go, but I'm not really ready to go single leg, I can challenge it in different ways. So I could maybe be, okay, I'm cool here. But if I start to look up, maybe I start to lose my balance a little bit and need to maybe hold on just a little bit and side to side. This would be a great level for you. So if you're kind of in between, where this isn't doing much for you anymore, but once you start to move around, maybe you start to feel those wobblies again. So we need to become slightly unbalanced. I'm just moving my torso around a little bit more than just my head. So a little bit unbalanced to become balanced, right? Seems a little counterintuitive, but it definitely makes sense. So your reactivity is your balance. So when something comes externally and you lose your balance, your center of gravity, muscles and especially your feet have to react to get you back in center, right? So moving the eyes around, moving the torso around, And then closing your eyes completely, so shutting off that proprioception completely. So I would hold on, and sometimes with closing your eyes, you actually go back a level, right? So you could come back to this semi-tandem here, where my feet are a little closer together, toes are a little closer together. You could always even come 2 feet just together with your eyes closed. And that's going to completely change the game for your balance. So I'm going to go back a level, hold on to something, get your balance first, and then maybe start to try and eliminate fingers. Arms can come out if you want to, a little bit harder if your arms are in, right? So this gives us a little bit more balance when our arms are out. And go ahead and open your eyes. So different ways of challenging it. So to recap, we have semi-tandem. Really, we have feet together. Semi-tandem, full tandem or heel toe. You have your kickstand, and then you have your single leg, wherever you want to put it. And then for challenging each of those levels, you have moving your eyesight around, up and down or side to side. You have moving more of your torso and head together. I kind of call it clock arms, where you're trying to go incrementally side to side. And then you can close your eyes and maybe you're going back a level. One other thing that you could add is kind of changing the surface. So you want to change one variability at a time. So a pillow, or in my case, I have a blanket you can put down. And you can practice each of these on something a little less sturdy, right? So when you're going out in the world, you don't plan to lose your balance. It happens basically unplanned. So you're not always going to be on a flat, sturdy surface, okay? So I could go ahead and get on the pillow or I have a blanket, into that stance. And it's just going to add a slightly different sensation to the feet that it's going to change your balance, okay? So it may be subtle to some, and it may add a lot more challenge. So when your supportive shoe isn't there, and the support of the solid ground isn't there, your balance and those accessory muscles and the movement of them are going to contract differently. So give that a try if you're there. Definitely don't start with this if you're just starting out, but just a way of things around your house to start to challenge your balance, okay? So these are all more static balances. I'll have another video that shows a little bit more dynamic balances, like your sit to stands, maybe your toe walking, maybe some more clock work with your feet. So that video is coming up later. Give your feet some love. They do a lot for us. They get us around everywhere we want to go, allow us to be independent. So give them some circles, maybe some up and down pumping. You could write your name. That's actually harder than you would think, especially if you have a long name. There, I spelled Becca. The nickname abbreviated. And then maybe even have a seat if you want one day, or grab someone that's nearby if you got someone with you, and just kind of give your feet some love. So just kind of move them and roll them out. Maybe a little foot massage, maybe just even doing some circles kind of like this. And then go on with the rest of your day. So hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions or if I could modify anything differently for you. And we'll see you next time. Bye.